This is Meri at TheMeriAtelier, and I finished my bank book project. I promised Jeri that I would do a flip of it, so this is going to be a flip of my bank book project. I am so happy with how it turned out. Very happy with how this turned out. Now, I've noticed in a lot of videos, people, when they're talking, will hold this book in their hand, the project in their hand, for 10 minutes while they're talking, and I'm going, would you just open the book and show it to us? So that's me to do. Now, this project is a project that was done in January with Tanya McGuire at This, That, and Chat, and Lisa Conway at My Eclectic Life, and Jeri Bellini at Recycled Parts for Art. And I worked along with them, and what fun. Now, Jeri had a little bank book project that she was selling as a kit in her store, and the last time I checked, she had one more kit left to sell. So if you're interested in the bank book, you might go see if that kit's still there. I will mention that this project was inspired by Monica Moran, and I have links to all their channels in the description box below. So this is my closure. I'll talk about that later. I'm just going to jump into this and show you the pages. I notice my internet is just a little jumpy here. I hope this turns out well. But let's go to the very first page. Let us be thankful for the good things of life. Now, I used a vintage book and an old newspaper. They were both early 1900s publication dates. This came out of the old newspaper from Archbald, Pennsylvania. And this was in the cover of the book. I think the book was called Daughters of the Land, and this picture was in it. And maybe I should hold it up so that you can see it better. I really do like that picture. And I just tied a bow. I put glossy accents. This is a hoop earring, and I put glossy accents in there just to circle that lady's head, just to kind of say this book is primarily about a Victorian style lady who might have lived in the 1900s. I have some vintage ribbon here. I really do like that. This is my title page, and I had received from Lynn, thank you, Lynn, some vintage vellum. And I wrote on here what this journal was about on that piece of vellum. And it's perfect for this book, Lynn. March 2019. This is an art journal created as Meridel worked along with the bank book project with Jeri, Tanya, and Lisa. Old newspaper, 1909, broken jewelry, ribbons, laces, and book text tell its story. And then I signed it, Meridel Abrams, TheMeriAtelier. In the background, it says some odds and ends of interest over here in the corner. Some odds and ends of interest. And this is all this old newspaper. I love that old newspaper. Look, it's dated November 27th, 1909. This ribbon here has little bees on it. I got that from Nana Mo in the UK. I love it. It just fits in here. It fits in this book. This was the very first page I created as I was working along with the gals. And this, again, is out of that newspaper, this Victorian-style lady with her beautiful hat. And this quote I got out of the book, Daughters of the Land. And I found this phrase that says, take the wings of morning. And I'm starting to practice my handwriting and my calligraphy. And I wrote that on some not so vintage graph paper or accounting paper and put it down in here. I have some ribbon here on the side, and I've inked the edges. The next page, again, is out of that newspaper. I used that newspaper a lot. I had so much fun picking articles out of that newspaper. Have you seen Lagwood's display of fall millinery? And, well, look at her hat. Oh, I should say, I did go back and put little bits and pieces of lace and bling on here. I did that later just to add interest and some charm to this book. And over here, it says, she could no more avoid it than a bee could avoid being buzzy. Now, when the gals did their project, they taught different styles of backgrounds, and Jeri taught a masking tape technique, and I did not want to do that entire technique on my page, so I just kind of tore some pieces of masking tape and glued this ad on here. And this, again, is the last of that ribbon that I got from Nanamo, the bee. The bee, she could no more avoid it than a bee could avoid being buzzy. And then I had a piece of broken jewelry, and it's just taped with double-sided tape on here. Can you look at that piece of broken jewelry? Look at that. Isn't that fun? I've had this for, a long time. And now I found a use for it. And it just hangs down below my book page. I don't know. I might have to go back in with glossy accents on here and attach it really good. But I'm going to see how long this will stay. I think it'll stay a long time. But when you close the book, see it falls down behind the margin here. And that's exactly what I wanted it to do. She could no more avoid it than a bee could avoid being buzzy. The next page is all about the, it's all about the 10-day sale. Out of the newspaper, they had a 10-day sale on ladies' coats and suits. Don't miss your chance. Burgers, Bergers, and then it's got this little lady here. I was so tempted to color in her dress, and I thought, no, I'm going to leave it like that. And in this pocket, I have a vintage coin envelope that I also got these envelopes from Jeri, and I painted mine a metallic copper and did some of my tatting. I was into this drawing tatting with my fine line applicator several months ago, and I just had these envelopes laying around, and then this was a candy bar, $1 million bar. So she's got $1 million to go to the 10-day sale. She could spend $1 million a day, or 100,000 a day, I guess. It's not 10 million, Meri. It's only $1 million. Well, think of all the coats and suits she could buy. It says, Nancy hung several new dresses over her side of the closet. And that came from that book, Daughters of the Land, too. And over here, I have an old piece of fabric and a hat pin, a little hat pin up here in the corner. Very fun. Very, very, very cool. The next page was a napkin page. They did the background of a napkin, and I had this pretty black floral napkin, and I chose a theater theme and some trim. I got this trim in Happy Mail from someone. I don't remember who. It might have been Nanamo too. I can't remember. You all give me so much pretty stuff. I forget who I get it from. And then from the top here, I also have a piece of ribbon, and I've attached broken jewelry that hangs down below the book too. The Lyric Theater. The lights from the window fell strongly on Kate. She was wearing her evening dress of smoky gray, soft fabrics over shining silk, with knots of dull blue velvet and gold lace here and there. She had dressed her hair carefully. She appeared what she was, a splendid specimen of healthy, vigorous womanhood. little text that I got out of that book. I had so much fun doing this. And then there's just I had some of this bias tape that I've used in here just to make a tag tie. Oh, did I pull out the tag over here? Oh, I did. That's my $1 million tag. And I also experimented with some of those shiny pearlescent watercolors, Rubens watercolors that Lucia McGill gifted me. Ooh, they shine. They shine on that black, let me tell you. So she had her evening at the theater. Now we're going to more of a masculine page. I've got Ted Coy over here, Yale's great star. Played and studied the game. Very strong physically and broad and large bone. And then they did a weaving page. I also did a weaving page, but I started weaving and then I liked this border, this white. This is just I put gold on it, but this is just the margin of that book and then the text is underneath. And I really like how that heart turned out. It says, she slowly lifted her eyes and faced a tall, slender, and it should be man there. Williams Bakery Goods. How fun that page was. I'm calling this my business card page. This is actually the weaving page. I covered most of it up. But in the background, you can see in here, maybe at the top, where the ends of the weaving, and it goes across the entire page. But then I used the headline of that Archbald, Pennsylvania, November 27th, 1909 newspaper. And then I created some business cards in the style that you might see in Tim Holtz ephemera packs. In fact, the colored pieces came from Tim Holtz. But these ads also came out of this newspaper. So I just created some business cards for them. I thought that was fun. I'll be doing more of that. The next page is the Queen of Mexican Actresses. They're very much into the theater and shopping and eating bakery goods. I love the little articles in that paper. This was an article about the faraway stars, what makes them twinkle. And it's a little article about what makes the stars look like they twinkle. And I thought, well, that's cool because a Mexican actress is a star. So she's twinkling on my page. And I've got some little lace accents on here, embellishments. The brightness of a star, for at times apart, and not all of its light is bent away from the eye. I would sit here and read it all to you, but that would be boring. This fabric was sent to me in Happy Mail last year from Lisa Conway. And I think she just put it in the Happy Mail box as filler to keep things from jiggling around. But look how it made her hat here in the background. It just whoosh, something like Penelope's white eyelash yarn. I really do like that page. It really turned out nice. And then there's another little article here of railroad timetables that I just didn't want to throw it away, so I kept it. And I accented the page with gold glitter all around just to add some bling to the page. Different techniques on each one of these pages. Like this is a fabric pocket page. This was, well, sort of a weaving page. And this was the woven background. This was the napkin page, the pocket page, and the tag. This was just my introduction page, just collaging with text. This I used broken jewelry embellishments on it. So the next page is, of course, fabric. And Jeri used a fabric page that she had like crocheted lace, and she gessoed it all out. And I could not gesso out this embroidery. I muted it down with some Jello, just kind of a light coating, but I couldn't cover up the pretty May basket in there. And then I put blue bling here and tied a bow, put some ribbon ties on it. And this, of course, is out of my 1909 newspaper. And it says Antoinette Gazam, heiress. Very upper class in 1909, weren't they? Now, this is the closest thing that I came to it being related to a bank book. In that 1909 paper, there was a great big ad about the Archbold Bank, and it reports all its assets, resources, and liabilities, and some other information about it. Over here, I found a little article that says there's money in junk, which we love. In 1909, they knew that there was money in junk. And here's some more about the Archbold Bank, all the resources and liabilities. They printed it in the newspaper. And then this says Dime Deposit Discount Bank. And this I tore out of the little memo book that I also got from Jeri. And it's just a little page of hours. But I tore it out because it was from March 1st to the 15th. And I did the most of this book in March. It was a February project, but, well, you know, I didn't finish it till March. And here is our lady here, who is Mrs. Henry Dimock, Dimock, president of the George Washington Memorial Association. Isn't she pretty? Isn't she pretty? I just love the vintage feel of this book. And look at the lace, how the lace edges from this page accent this page and this page. I really do like how that happened. The next page is all about brick bats and bouquets. And there's a thumbprint bee up here. And this was a packing tape transfer out of a magazine image. And there's some fabric in here. There's more packing tape transfer down here. And this says, time's up and our entire second floor must be given over to holiday goods. So, and then this is a vintage found relative photo from Tim Holtz. But look at those ladies in their hats. I mean, that photo was just created for my book. It was just created for my book. What can I say? The next page is also a packing tape transfer, and I think you can see it. It's actually houses on a cliff at the seaside, like they're going on vacation, and then this is all water up in here. This was a piece of a strap from an old, I imagine it was a satchel handle. But I cut it off of the satchel, and I used most of it on a journal, a Christmas journal that I created for my grandniece, but I had this little piece left. And I was rummaging through stash, and I go, well, it fits right there. Over here, I have some button cards, and this little origami pocket was taught by Jeri Bellini. And so I made one for this, and then I put my little button cards in there. How cute. There's also a pocket here. I don't have anything in that pocket. But this is just some more ledger paper. I think this was sent to me in Happy Mail that I've just had around. And it just fits in this book. This giraffe, I get the biggest kick out of that giraffe. It says, even if you have a neck this long, it's talking about medicine for a sore throat. Even if you have a neck that long. Here's a page where it's fad clothes and fashion clothes. And I love the deco art around this frame. And the Genesee model, it's got a very vintage picture of a gentleman and his lady, and they're ice skating. 10 cent per pound discount sale. And over here is a Rolodex card that I actually created in 2016 out of an old cutter quilt, a square up of an old cutter quilt, and I had it with all my Rolodex cards, and I'm going, it fits here. This is actually a fabric page. I had some ticking fabric, if you can see it in the background. Of course, I covered it with gold, but look, you can see the salvage edge over here and the printing on it. I just love it. And then I had matching button cards that matched these buttons, and then these are the medium ones, and over here are the small ones. And I have to say, I think this is my favorite page in the whole book because of it's based off of letters. And I have some postage stamps here. I had some that Jeri sent to me in Happy Mail, but I can't find them. They're here someplace, but I found these are from Czechoslovakia, I believe. I believe these are from Czechoslovakia. This one might be some South Africa. They're not all from Czechoslovakia. They're foreign. They're all foreign countries. And this, again, is a Tim Holtz found relative photograph. I hope he makes more of these. I have more fun with these vintage photographs, and I can use them over and over and over again. I just hope he publishes more of them. But what I love about this, it's about letters, and this was actually the flap of an envelope that I did some doodling with my fine line paint applicator, but I don't like how the envelope turned out. So I cut the flap off of it. I put a butterfly ephemera up at the top. But listen to this letter. I get such a kick out of this letter. Now, I got this out of the book. The chapter was called 2 Letters. And just imagine that this is John writing to Kate. We're going to call this fellow John, and this is Kate. And he's writing a letter to her, and he says, "My dearest Kate, I'm a day late with this because, as I told you, I have no schooling. And in writing a letter is where I prove it. So I never write them. But it was not fair to you for you not to know what kind of a letter I would write if I did write one. So here it is, very bad, no doubt, but the best I can possibly do, which has nothing to do at all with my passion for you and the awful time I will have till I hear from you. If you can stand for this, telegraph me, and I will on the first train, and we will forget this, and I will never write another letter." I love that. Just forget this, and I'll never write another letter. "With dearest love from Mother and from me, all the love of my heart, forever yours only, John." I just love that. I love that letter. I just love it. It just sounds like something a fellow would write if he just did not like to write letters. I think this is my favorite page in this whole book because of that letter. And then I found I found this, and, this just looks like John and Kate, and it looks like they fit in this album. It just fits. It all falls together. This is a paper clip that I got in Happy Mail. I'm not sure who sent it to me. I know several people have sent me paper clip flags, with the ribbons and the torn fabric up here. So thank you to whoever sent it to me, because the colors just flow with the whole color scheme of this page. This is a page in their little bank book kit. They had these bendy tie paper punch things that you see them on folder clips, I guess you can call them. But you punch 2 holes in your paper, and then you pull them through. And of course, I put painty papers. But there's an ad out of that paper that says, "Special today and tomorrow, Saturday candy, 29 cents a pound box. Have you tried a box? If not, why not?" A.B. Kinback. And here again, there's this really pretty border around here that just makes me want to start doodling. And then I was showing this in one of my live streams, and one of the ladies said, "Note to self, eat more chocolate." So I put that on there. And then the rest is just painty papers. The last page, of course, is about time's up. It's kind of like the end. Time's up, and our entire second floor must be given over to holiday goods. Remember, this is a November, 27th? November 27th. So they're celebrating the holidays. They've already had their Thanksgiving. So a sensational 7-day sale of millinery begins today at Lagwig's 4-cent store in Scranton, 310 Lackawanna Avenue. Why not buy at Lagwig's, where 4 cents goes as far as 5 cents elsewhere, and $4 as far as $5. And then there's a little tag in here with, well, this was a flower that I made out of a napkin. I'd had it around. I was playing with flowers, and this was one of my less successful ones. But it really goes on here. It just kind of, it adds a little touch to this tag. And then there's some ribbon folded around here. Should have a piece of tape there that it's holding on to, but it looks like maybe the napkin took over. And then there's just ads out of that newspaper, a quilt ad, yarns, old money wanted, patchwork and quilt making. And that goes in there. Of course, there's some more newspaper that I collaged down in the background. Now let's talk about the cover. The cover is a sample piece of upholstery, I suppose, that I got at the thrift store. It was just a square. And it was actually made in Italy. It just looks Italian, doesn't it? Isn't it beautiful? It's black and gold. And what better colors for Meri to have on a journal cover than black and gold? And it just fit the width of the book with a fold over on the back where I can make a pocket. I just folded it over. And then on the front, yes, let's talk about the front. I put a necklace, a chain necklace on here with glossy accents, and then the little hook. This is a broken necklace, of course. It came in broken jewelry. And on this part, I have some little brass pieces. I get these little charms at a local store, a local quilt and bead store, but they're cheap. I mean, these charms cost me probably, I think 70 cents for that, less than 50 cents for these other pieces. There's a little arrow, a heart in a rectangle, and of course the scissors. And this was a paper clip idea that I actually got from Tanya. She had put a paper clip on the top of her book, and she put a shank button on that paper clip up there. Well, I did not have any shank buttons available, so I put some more broken jewelry that I'm pretty sure I got from Jeri Bellini. This is a disco ball. I really love that. And a little hoopy earring there, a beaded earring, and a little piece of an earring there. And then this piece falls down, and look at this. I just found this. I used this on my boho tags, I think. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Just fits with this book. I think I put this. This was a big necklace, and it had these all over the place. And I just put this on tonight, and then see all my other pieces that I have fallen through from the other pages. They kind of fall down in here. And then, of course, my ribbons and ties and the lace from that lace page. And then this is a hairband. You can get these at Walmart or the thrift store, not the thrift stores, the dollar stores have these hairbands, elastic hairbands. And I had these set of 3 buttons that match those other buttons in there, and I just sewed them on there. Tacked them down with some glossy accents so that the thread would stay, and then I just use it as a closure. Put it over this way. I kind of have to be careful putting it on and taking it off because I don't want it to tangle. But there you go. Yay! My bank book project is finished. So thank you to Tanya McGuire and Lisa and Jeri Bellini. This was such a fun project. Now, this was actually a February project. In January, we did these small books. I used flashcards for mine. Look at my my binding here. It was so fun to do this with crochet thread. And these were my flashcards. I used a ribbon that I've had around for, I think when I was doing a lot of needlework. I had this ribbon that I purchased, and I just never used it. And I'm using that as my closure. And I'm not going to go all through this because I think I did a flip of it. But I have all these images in here. Very distressed pages. Just so fun to do these. I hope Lisa and Tanya keep up the small book theme throughout the year. It would be fun to have a set of 12 small books. It would really be fun to have that. Let me talk. Well, I'll tie that later. For March, we are doing these 2 books. Now, what we've used are tissue paper, toilet paper tubes, and I used paper towel tubes. And you gesso them and paint them. And I collaged some Tim Holtz collage paper on here. And then I have put on in here I have some notepad paper that I got at Michael's several years ago. And it has a peacock sitting on a couch. And so this is a packing tape transfer that I put down here. This book is not finished, obviously. We've done 1 session, and we're going to do the final session this coming Tuesday night, March 26th. It's a hangout, and we will be at Lisa Conway's My Eclectic Life from 7 to 9 or thereafter, Central Time. So I am really looking forward to finishing this. I am looking there. You put tags in here, and then there'll be a binding, and there'll just be a lot more to this project. So there we go. At the end of March, I'll have 3 little mini journals to show off. Thank you so much for watching. How fun this was. What fun projects. I will see you on the next page.